Hello, Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning Blaque in once again to Authentic Black Goddess TV. I'm your host, QueenAShakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAShakur. You can also follow the QueenAShakur fan page, and you can follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. All right. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Everyone tuned into the Queen. So let's get into it, beloveds. All right, Dervis, I see you up early and at it. RPM, Louise, Nessie, I am Bass, Cherie, Emperor Rex. All right. Let's get into it. Hello, favorable child. Okay, so listen to this, people. Now, 5 black students supposedly got into a fight at school. So they got into a fight with a Caucasian child. Okay, and so now they're talking about charging them with the whole hate crime. They said that the kids, as they were fighting him before and during, they were shouting things like brown power and you're white, which is all crazy. I mean, I've never heard anybody say that. I don't know why anybody would. It doesn't make sense to me. But this is what's been said. Now, they claim that there is footage, but that footage hasn't been released. And until it is, I'm just going to go with, the fact that this is all speculation. And I'm not going to just, be so quick to believe this, because we know how the devils do. And what I find to be the most interesting is that they want to charge these black children with hate crimes, but when these little racist demon seeds spawn from the pits of hell, put this black kid in a whole locker with banana peels and made monkey noises and punched and beat him, even in his genitalia, nobody charged them with a hate crime. And that was clearly all about race. Okay? And also for the little 13-year-old boy who was tricked into going to a sleepover at the little Caucasian kid's house, right? And then they beat him and forced him to drink urine. Nobody charged them with a hate crime. I just want you to pay attention to how they try to demonize our children and make them criminals before they even get started in life. Okay? Let's get into it. So they say 5 Florida middle school children were charged with hate crimes after allegedly attacking a group of children while exclaiming brown power, an incident the police are calling racially motivated. This is what police are saying. Now, the 5 juveniles who were in the 6th to 8th grade at Lions Creek Middle School were all arrested on charges of battery and evidence of prejudice while committing a battery, a 3rd-degree felony. Now, in Florida, evidencing prejudice while committing an offense is considered a hate crime. So the incident unfolded Wednesday morning at the Coconut Creek Recreation Complex, which is approximately 40 miles north of Miami. And this is according to arrest reports from the Coconut Creek Police Department. The center is across the street from the school. Okay, now the arrest report lists 4 victims. According to the arrest reports, the students approached the victims yelling, "It's opposite day," and "brown power," and then they beat them, they say. And the arrest reports noted that the comments were made before and during the alleged attack. Now, one of the victims ran up to an officer at the recreation complex crying, saying that they had been battered. Okay, so let's look at the report. And one of the children's who's accused, one of their parents spoke out. One of their moms spoke out. So let me get this video queued. But in the meantime, everyone please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, hold on just a moment. Let me get this video pulled up.
Need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. Indeed Instant Match instantly delivers quality candidates matching your job description. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
I put my hands up so they don't whack my face and stuff. After they jumped me, they said, like, this is like revenge, what they did like in the 1700s for slavery.
Tonight, a student whose father asked us not to show his face describes being attacked by several other students from his middle school before class Wednesday morning at the nearby Coconut Creek Rec Center.
You feel safe?
Not really.
According to Coconut Creek Police, 5 students from Lions Creek Middle School are charged with a hate crime, accused of going after 4 other students. The reports say the students attacked racially profiled the other kids for being white, allegedly using language like brown power and you are white. That elevated the simple misdemeanor battery to a felony, a charge that outrages one of the parents of the students accused.
Shocking, because he's never in trouble. Secondly, I feel like they're trying to ruin these kids' lives.
Precious Lester says the school principal told her the fight started with the kids playing, but the police report describes the group using, quote, their hands, feet, and phone chargers to hit the students and being slapped in the head with an open palm and closed fist.
I asked, they told me there were videos. I asked to see the videos. I haven't yet to see the videos. Also, my child was at the Coconut Creek Police Department from about 9:30, 10 o'clock that morning up until 7:30 last night, and I wasn't even informed. So he was being questioned without a parent even being available.
Meanwhile, the dad of a victim says he's nervous sending his son back to school.
They can't do anything to the other kids because it didn't happen on school property. He wants to go back to school there because all his friends are there, but he doesn't feel safe. There's an opportunity to move out, but that seems like a punishment.
You're a one-man stitchwork math.
Now, here's what I would like to say about this. First and foremost, that wasn't just the only child who was fighting. Okay, the teenager who was speaking on camera, that's not the only one who was fighting. There was actually 4 victims, according to the police report. Okay, so don't think that it was these 5 teens who jumped him, because there was actually 4 of them, and then there was, I believe, 5 of the Black children. So with that all being said, who's to say what really happened? Because we all know that children lie. I mean, how do we know he didn't call them the N-word? And that's what sparked it all. And then he said they came out there and they said it's opposite day, started shouting brown power, you're white, and this is revenge for slavery from 1700s. First of all, who's going to say all that when they're getting ready to fight? I'm just curious. And why would they shout brown power? Because everyone knows that Black people say black power, okay? And I haven't heard children use that ever. So, and we also know who has a history, whose children that is, has a history of committing whole hate crimes. But it's so funny that they never get charged with it. But they're so quick to charge these Black kids with it. You know, anytime white kids do something to Black kids, don't they always say, and the police that is, don't they always say, well, there's no evidence that it was a hate crime? Well, what makes them think there's evidence here? Another thing is they took those children down to the police station to question them without their parents being present. Okay, so that is already shady right there, because you're supposed to be speaking to minors when you have a parent or guardian present. And that's what they didn't have. Now, who knows what the truth is, but my whole thing is they never do this to the racist demons. They've beaten up Black kids. They've harassed them and bullied them until they've committed suicide. Don't we all remember the video that came out just a few months ago when the little white Becky was on the video on TikTok telling the Black girl to kill herself and saying all these hateful things? What did they say about that? That wasn't considered a hate crime? The kids getting beat up, you know, and attacked by white students. This has happened numerous of times. What about the disabled Black kid who was beaten by the football players and they shoved a coat hanger up his anus? That wasn't even charged as a hate crime. I'm just wondering how in the hell they're going to charge these teenagers with a hate crime. But the mother was right. The mother of one of the students accused, she said she thinks they're trying to ruin these kids' lives. And of course, that's absolutely what they're doing. That's absolutely what they're doing, because they want to make them felons before they even become adults. Okay, and we all know how that goes. And Florida is very racist, by the way. Okay, Asaladi said they don't see our kids as kids at all. They're automatically seen as adults. Well, that's the thing. You see, they do that to further victimize and demonize them. That's what they've always done. And so they can use that as their excuse for the mistreatment of them. Louise said, no, never with the white students. That's always the case. Absolutely. So this is just all crazy to me, honey. I'm just trying to figure out how the police came to such a fast and hasty conclusion that this was hate crime. And I'm sorry, but they said there's footage, supposedly. Now, I want to see the footage. I want to know if there's audio to that footage also, because I don't believe any of this. I'm sorry, I don't. Now, I may be proven wrong later, but right now, I don't believe it. I do not believe that Black kids went up to white kids and jumped them talking about it's reverse J, brown power and all that. Who the hell says brown power? I'm sorry. Who says that? It all sounds like a load of BS that they just made up. If anything, I would believe that the little Caucasian kids were harassing them and probably got their aces beat. And so now they're mad. Okay? That's how that likely went. That's what I would believe, because they have a history, like I said, of doing these things. The agitator said, right, bring out the footage. Absolutely. Okay? I'm not buying any of it. I'm not buying any of it. But, you know, like I said, they always want to demonize Black children. And they're so quick to try to say that they've already determined that it's a hate crime. Well, they did that. They called it a hate crime just so they can make it a felony. That's all it is. Okay? So anyway, we'll see how this all turns out, because trust and believe, I will be following this. I don't believe a word of it thus far. Like I said, I believe that more than likely they just got into a fight over something that was said or done. And then the little white kids who got their butts beat, I think they just lied about it. And there's only one of them that spoke. So I'm just curious to hear what all of the children collectively have to say. That's what I'd like to know. Anyway, listen to this. So you all remember the teenager who was shot by the police when she was defending herself, right? Ma'Khia Bryant, 16 years old. Y'all remember that story last year? Okay, so the cop who shot and killed her won't be charged. He won't be charged for the fatal shooting. I mean, of course, we're not surprised, right? We're not surprised. But do you all remember when he shot her? Didn't we hear him say on camera something about Blue Lives Matter or something like that? So the fatal shooting of a teenage girl galvanized Black communities in Columbus, Ohio. Now that has not brought criminal charges against the city police officer involved in the incident, as the grand jury returned a no bill, finding there was no probable cause for a crime. Ma'Khia Bryant, 16 years old at the time, who lived in foster care on the east side of the city, was shot dead by Nicholas Reardon, an officer with the Columbus Police Department. Now, that was in April of 2021. Okay, Reardon was responding to a domestic dispute call when the shooting occurred, according to the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office. Body camera footage from Reardon appeared to show Bryant lunging at another woman with a knife as the skirmish unfolded. Reardon, who was the first officer on the scene to arrive, shot Bryant 4 times. Here's the thing. I'm going to say it again like I said back then. I'm sorry, if he saw her with a knife and he didn't know whether she was defending herself or she was the aggressor, couldn't he have at least tased her? And if you shoot someone, do you have to shoot to kill them? You couldn't shoot them in a leg? Well, of course you could. That's what they do to Caucasians. They don't shoot them to kill. How do we know that? Well, I'm glad you asked, because often when we see these mass shooters, when we see these bank robbers, these thugs, these criminals, no matter what they've done, even the 2 little white kids, remember them? The miniature Bonnie and Clyde, the little girl was 14, the boy was 12, and they escaped from a group home and broke into this man's home, stole his guns, and fired on the police. Do you all remember that story I reported on last year? Now, they shot the girl, but they only shot her because they had to, you see, because they actually did fear for their lives, because she had a whole gun, and so did the boy, and they were shooting at the police. But even before they shot her, we heard them on the police body cam. We heard the police begging them to put the guns down, not to make them do it. Please, don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. That's what they said to those little white kids. That's what they said to them. Whole thugs with guns pointed at them and shooting at them. Okay? And guess what? They didn't shoot her to kill her. And they only shot her once. That was to disarm and disable her so they could make the arrest. All right? But when it's a Black teenager, a Black child, they will murder them. They will murder them even when they have no weapon, like Tamir Rice. So I'm just saying, this is all such BS, and he's not getting charged, but we're not surprised. This is how it always goes, right? So they go on to say, after reviewing the evidence, the grand jury decided on Friday not to charge Reardon in Bryant's death. Bryant's death caused widespread protest and condemnation in many of the Columbus Black neighborhoods. Now, the heightened racial tensions were compounded by her death, which occurred just 30 minutes before ex-Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was found guilty in the killing of George Floyd. And that's probably why she was killed. Because remember, we knew that verdict was coming out that day, right? Now, the shooting was lambasted across Ohio, including from Democratic Ohio Representative Joyce Beatty. The Congresswoman released a statement in April of 2021 following Bryant's death, and she said that she was at a total loss of words over the tragic killing of 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant by the Columbus police. My prayers are with her family and friends. Our community is hurting, as we have experienced too much heartbreak and deserves better. Let me tell you something else too. Now, you all remember this child, this teenager, was fighting an adult who was over 30 years old, who had come to the foster home that she was living in and attacked her and her younger sister. She was not only defending herself, she was defending her younger sister at the time of her murder. Okay? And that pig shot her 4 times. So anyway, Franklin County ruled Bryant's death a homicide that August, according to the county coroner's office. The homicide ruling, along with other evidence presented, was not enough for the grand jury to hand down an indictment against the officer. Now, while CPD has not released an incident statement on the ruling, the Columbus Department of Public Safety said in a press release, we thank the independent investigators at Ohio BCI, or the Bureau of Criminal Investigation, for their diligence in the case. I mean, we should not be shocked by any of this, people. Like I have told you numerous of times, the devil should always be trusted to do just exactly what they always do. And that is be nefarious, to be racist, and to murder and kill unarmed Black people, whether you're a man, woman, or child. And that's just the facts. So that's just another sad story. So everyone, please get the likes up. Please get the likes up, like and share. Now listen to this. This story is about a cop who tried to bribe a teen. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I already covered that story. I already covered that. Wrong one. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, likes up, like and share. Here we go. I'm looking for the specific story. Is this it? Okay, here it is. Okay, so a teacher has been charged with hitting an autistic student. Now, how many times do we have to hear these stories? How many times do we have to hear it? Teachers putting their hands on students, slamming them into walls, punching them. I mean, this is also crazy. And here's the thing. Some of them should be charged with hate crimes as far as I'm concerned, because I know that we all have noticed that they only seem to do this to Black students. We don't see any news coverages about them beating up white students, do we? Or Asian students. It's always Black students these teachers want to be racist to, and they want to put their hands on. So anyway, it said a teacher is facing serious repercussions after she allegedly struck an autistic student at a Florida elementary school. Candace Bartell, age 53, of Melbourne, faces felony charges of child abuse with great bodily harm due to her alleged behavior against a student at Roosevelt Elementary School. Now, according to an arrest report obtained by Newsweek from the Cocoa Beach Police Department, they were notified that surveillance video reportedly captured Bartell striking the autistic student and struck them in the face. She literally hit this child in the face. Someone who's autistic now. Now, Bartell reportedly attempted to open a door to one of the classrooms. Now, the victim was standing off to the right of the teacher, but close behind her. The defendant is seen in the video and they don't show the video. The defendant is seen using her left hand, bringing it around and striking the student on the face, in the area of the nose, according to the police report. Now, the student can then be seen jumping back and holding her face after the incident. The student was in Bartel's care at the time, and she was reportedly not injured from the physical contact. And so a study published in June of 2020 in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health analyzed teacher harassment victimization of adolescents with a high-functioning autism spectrum. So basically saying that there's teachers who beat and harass autistic children. And this is a fact because I've seen numerous reports on this as well, because they get aggravated because these children, you know, due to their disability, they may be rowdy. They may not want to sit still and sit quietly, you know, and that's just because they have a disorder. Some of them may not respond when the teacher's talking to them because some of them are nonverbal. But these teachers, if they don't have the patience to deal with different types of children with different disabilities or whatever and issues, then they should get another job. Don't put your hands on people's children. That's what they shouldn't be doing. And like I said, some of them who are doing these things specifically to Black kids, they need to be charged with whole hate crime as far as I'm concerned. Now, of 219 adolescents and participants, 26 reported being harassed based on self-reports of parent reports. Victims of teacher harassment exhibited more severe social communication deficits and oppositional defiant disorder symptoms than non-victims, according to the study. Additionally, adolescents displayed more severe depression and anxiety and were more likely to have suicidal thoughts. And that's my whole thing. A lot of these Black children, now I'm telling you, years ago, decades ago, we didn't hear about Black children commit suicide. We did not hear about that. But now suddenly there's a spike in Black children, even as young as elementary age, committing suicide. And that's often because they're being harassed and bullied, not by only little racist demon seeds, but also by the teachers and bus drivers. Okay, like little Seven Scales, who was 10 years old and was put in a headlock by a little racist Caucasian kid, called the N-word, and the bus driver obviously condoned it because she was harassing him too. So these are the things that are going on, but no one's getting charged for anything with this. I find that very interesting. So they say when the victim's father was shown the surveillance footage, he was reportedly shocked that a teacher would touch a student in this type of manner, adding that his daughter's nervousness or fright likely caused her to jump away from the startling contacts. Newsweek reached out to both Roosevelt Elementary School as well as Brevard Public Schools Superintendent Mark Mullins for comments, but they didn't hear back from any of them. Are we surprised? Are we surprised? They say the national autism rates have risen over time. And yes, they've risen. And I believe we know why. We know why they have risen, especially in Black children, right? Because of things that they've been given that causes autism. But we can't say what those things are. But I'm sure we all know, right? Can't say it on ScrewTube. Okay, so anyway, that's just all so crazy. Boom Squad said, Bussy Head is fixated by Blacks and he is projecting like other racist trolls. Is there a troll in here? Hold on. I'm looking for the troll. Anyway, Queen, I need a trigger warning, says King F. I know, beloved, right? I'm gonna have to start giving you all one. But anyway, that's the news for now. I just had to get those stories out, and I'm going to be coming right Black on the QueenAShakur TV show in about 15 or 20 minutes because we have to talk about this Mzungu who went over to Haiti. Right? He's a pastor, adopts Haitian children, and is now accused of sexual abuse. And you know, I'm not surprised at all because this happens all the time. And that's why I don't trust Mzungus adopting Black children. I'm just wondering why they want them, if not for anything, if other than anything nefarious. I mean, there's so many reports, and I'm not saying all of them want them for those reasons, but many of them do. So anyway, it's just all crazy. With that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like and share, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time I go live. And I hope to see you all shortly in the next chats. Peace.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Amadeus.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Amadeus.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Amadeus.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We miss